Hello everyone, today we're going to be learning All the Small Things by Blink-182. It's one of my favorite songs and definitely one of my favorite bands. Really cool song. This will give you a chance to practice your power chords. Hopefully you've got a fairly decent handle on making that power chord shape with your hand and moving it across different frets, moving it across different strings. And if you come to this point, then hopefully you're ready to start applying what we've worked on, those technical skills in an actual song. So this is a great song, great example of how to use the power chord in a really cool sort of happy pop punk kind of style. It works great for any kind of faster music where you want to play chords, but it's difficult sometimes to move the open chord shapes and transition that quickly. So this is kind of how the power chord was born, sort of out of necessity for wanting to play chords, but also wanting to play faster music. So anytime you've got something that sounds really like aggressive and heavy, like a metal song, or like a happy song that has an upbeat tempo, or a dance song, it's very common to see power chords. So this song in the original recording is a layer of 2, maybe even 3 guitars. So we're going to do sort of a simplified combination of all those parts together in power chord form. Okay, so let's start by going through each section one at a time, and then we will practice connecting those sections together to build the whole song. Okay, so we are in the key of C. Oh, and the great thing about this song, one of the things that makes it so easy, is that there are only 3 chords. It's just about how you rearrange those chords to make the different sections of the song. Okay, so every single section, I think, is going to begin with a C5 or a C power chord. Remember, those are the same thing. Okay, so we're going to take our first finger, we're going to put it on the root note of C, which is the 3rd fret of the A string right here. A string, 3rd fret with your first finger. Okay. In addition to that, we're going to add the D string, 5th fret with the 3rd finger. Sorry, there it is. And then our pinky right underneath that on the 5th fret of the G string. So these 3 notes together gives you a C5. Okay, we don't want the E string, we don't want the B string, we don't want the high E string. Alright, if we were to add those in, we get that, which is like a weird C major 7 with a E in the bass, I guess. Okay, not necessarily what we're going for here. Okay, we just want these 3 that we're playing with our fingers. Okay, so you're going to have to get your string muting game on here, because once we kind of get into the swing of the music, and we're strumming and we're going to town and we're having a good time, it's going to be very difficult to only play these unless you mute the strings you don't want. That way you can go ahead and strum all 6 strings, but you only hear the 3 that we're trying to play. Okay, so once we have a C5, we also have a G5, so we're just going to basically take each finger and move it down a string. Remember, down is this way because the guitar's orientation goes from low to high like that. So when we move down a string, each finger goes like this. Down, down, down. Okay? So now we're here on our root note is on G, which is 3rd fret of the E string. Okay? And this is a G5. Okay? And to make an F5, our last chord, we just slide 2 frets down from here. 1, 2. And this is an F. Okay? So the verse is C, G, F, G. Okay? 1 measure each. I believe they're divided into 1/8 notes, so you have 8 strums to make up 1 measure before you go to the next measure. So that would sound something like this. All the small things, truth kills and truth brings, all safe and 1 left, ELI5. So on and so forth. So that's the verse, very simple. C for 1 measure, G for 1 measure, F for 1 measure, G for 1 measure. Repeat, repeat, repeat until that brings you to the pre-chorus, which really could not be any easier. You just make a C5 and you hit it once, nice and strong, and you let it ring. Say it ain't so, I will not go, turn the lights off and carry me home. Right, and right there's the beginning of the chorus. Okay, so the pre-chorus is just a C and you let it ring. You may notice when you're listening to the recording that the bass guitar kind of continues on as if it was going to do like a chorus. It's got the C thing, G, F that continues on underneath our C5 chord that rings out. Okay, so the chorus is same 3 chords arranged a little differently. So now we have 2 measures of C5, 1 measure of G, 1 measure of F. Okay, so 2 measures of C5, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, then G for 1 measure, 3, 4, F, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's the chorus. So, I will not go, turn the lights off, carry me home, keep your head still, I'll be your thrill, and I will go on, a little windmill. Okay, alright, now, there is one other section, actually there are 2 other sections, but before we get to the bridge, I want to talk a little bit about the intro, which is also sort of the interlude when it comes back in later in the song. Okay, so the intro, the chords are basically the same as they are in the chorus, but there's definitely another guitar that's doing like this little lead thing. Okay, so don't let that confuse you because it does sound a little different there when the 2 guitars get layered together. It does technically change the overall chord structure that the whole band is playing, but you as the rhythm guitar player can basically just play that same part in the chorus. Okay, but we do have to change our rhythm a little bit. So when we get to the G, we have a very quick little rest. 1, 2, 3, rest, 2, 3, and then 3 really quick Fs. And that's probably the trickiest part of the whole song. You kind of have to be ready to go from that F to that C real fast because you're going 1, 2, 3, right back to the C. It's very quick. Okay, so just be ready for that. Practice that, moving from the F to C as fast as you can. That way when it comes time to play that, it won't throw you off too bad. But essentially the rhythm and the rhythm guitar part for that intro part would be something like this if you put it all together. Okay, da-na-na-na. Alright, that's actually how the song begins. We call those pickups, so it's not even a full measure, leading right into the very, very beginning of the song. You'd have to have somebody do some sort of count off, which you don't hear in the recording because they just take that out, but that is how they actually start. Somebody goes 1, 2, 3, and 4, and, right? Those 3 Fs are at the very beginning of the song. Actually, I think it's only 2 in the very beginning. It was 1, 2, 3, down. Right, so we call those pickups, those 2, right? It's very quick. Oh yeah, it's G to F, that's what it is. Right, so that's the very, very beginning of the song. It's very difficult sometimes to start right away, you know, because you reach over your music player or whatever and you hit play, and the song has that little synthy kind of swell, goes woo, and bana. It's really hard to predict when it's gonna go dana, and it happens so fast that I usually just skip that and I listen for it as a cue to start the C, the beginning of the intro part. So if you're playing in a band or a group with others who can do a count off for you, you can add it at the very beginning of the song. Otherwise, I would say just listen for it in the recording and then come in on the C. So it goes 1, da-da, da, and come in on the C right now. Okay, but don't stress it too much. It's just some advice on how to help you get through playing along with the recording, which you should be doing, by the way. Okay, so the last part to this song is the bridge, which is very simple. It's just like the chorus, but we switch the order of the G and the F. So instead of doing 2 measures of C, a measure of G, and a measure of F, it's 2 measures of C, a measure of F, then a measure of G, which is basically this. Right? It does that 4 times, right? C, C, F, G, 4 times, and that's the bridge. You want to kind of start with these long whole notes, right? So the intensity kind of comes down, and it builds an intensity, which leads you back to the chorus at the end of the song. All right, so something like this. to build. The intensity kind of builds. That leads to the chorus. I will not go, turn the lights on, carry me home, keep your head still, I'll be your thrill, the night will go on, a little windmill. Okay, so at that point you're playing through the chorus a whole lot. The na-na-na-na-nas kind of come in, that's all just same thing, more and more chorus. At the very, very, very end of the song, to take you out to the last chord, all you have to do is extend the F at the end of the chord progression by one measure. Okay? It's this common thing that songwriters do sometimes. It's just a little turnaround chord. Okay, so we're already on the F at the end of the measure, and then it goes to the turnaround on F, so you just stay on F before you go back to C, which sounds like this. Say it ain't so, I will not go, turn the lights up, carry me home, keep your head still, I'll be your thrill, the night will go on, the night will go on, a little windmill. Alright, catch that, you just stay on that F for one extra measure. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then hit C and just let the C ring out, or fade out I should say. And then that's it, you've made it to the end of the song. Okay, so practice these sections one at a time, become real familiar with the intro / interlude, same thing, which takes us to the first verse, takes us to the interlude, which takes us, pre-chorus, right? Pre-chorus is easy, you just hit that C. So it's intro, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, again, interlude, which is the same thing as the intro, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, then the bridge section, and then chorus, chorus, with the little extended tag there at the end on that last F to the C chord at the end, and that's it, that's the whole song. So practice them individually, and then practice connecting those sections together, and when you're real familiar with each of those sections, and how to go from one to the next, cue up the recording, play along with the recording. It's in standard tuning, it's all in the same key, so you should be good to go. Just get it out, have fun with it, and let me know if you have any questions. You can always leave me a comment or hit me up, and I'd be happy to help you. But this is a great way to get the hang of the power chord thing at a higher speed that we usually kind of play the power chords at. Real sort of fun song, only 3 chords, so it's very easy. It's just about cleverly arranging those chords, right? So learning how pro songwriters, use different harmony and structure the chords and the chord progressions together in different orders to make a song that would otherwise be very repetitive sound exciting and fresh and new. And even after all these years, this song is still a super awesome song. So, like I said, have fun with it, and I'll talk to you later.